Okay, I think we're good. There we are. Alrighty. Yeah, we already got you. Uh-huh. Come on. Ah, damn. There we go. There we are. We already got shots of her face, as I recall. There we are. Perfect. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. There we go. Well, I didn't realize how these things kind of like twist around, you know? You got both the centipede and the scorpion kind of coming out from the rear. Interesting considering how much I forgot if there was any lore on the scorpion's origin or not, because you see the scorpion tail with her here, so it's a bit sus. Well, yeah, interesting what gets all covered in shadow. Ah! Well, you know it's a Loki stream. That's how you know. All right, let's I guess we should go through Bellarat then. I want to get a good look at all this. What's happening? Oh, I was just looking at the kind of looking at the rear. Want to get, you know, a few shots of Romina. Wasn't sure if we were gonna do the boss fight or not. Maybe in a sec we will. But I kind of also want to just go through here again for my sanity. Make sure that I have shots of this. There we go. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. There we go. Uh-huh. Well, I've done what I can. Yeah, because Hornstead had a thing for these scorpions even before Romina became a scorpion herself. Yeah, howdy, Xavier. Oh. Shadow Realm rune. Some more revered spirit ash. Now, what's interesting about this ash here, that the body itself hasn't been burned and defaced. Which is funny, because Messmer's forces theoretically have come through here. And I'm pretty sure we see a body up ahead, further along. Black pup. Of course they have a black firefly before you walk. Okay, I get it now. I get it. Okay. So they wanted to kind of show this place as it would like look when you would first come here when it was at its best, right? And give you this sense of like, oh, this is like at its peak. And then they dropped the foreshadowing right here before you walk out and boom, your face with all the destruction and the burning and all that stuff, right? I see what they're going for here. Remember there are some sandboxes even down here? Ah, yes, I do recall that now that you mention it. Got one here. So again, it's more of a candle box. Oh, it's one of these, right? Yeah. A little bit of sand here. Which now makes me wonder, did Messmer's forces not go through the front door? Are we actually supposed to believe they all went through... Like, are we supposed to believe, like, they all went through, like, Romina's church or something? Like... Oh. Oh, God, I don't remember. I think I'm gonna try to avoid shortcuts and stuff like this, but... Yeah, I do not remember this. It is from the Ruin Chamber. Okay. All right. Oh. Sure. Stacking rocks. Neutralizing boluses and the poison areas like through here, right? Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I noticed when we were going through the other one, they didn't do a good job with the bottoms, but it makes more sense to me now with these pillars. It's like, oh, because they were designed with the shadow in mind. They didn't think about actually modeling them for when the seal is dispelled. There's the painting of them coming through here. Oh, really? A painting? I don't see it. I think the Hornstead are really cool fantasy culture. Oh yeah, I agree with you. Again, I think From Software has a really great way of like really creating like inspired like histories and cultures with characters and stuff. Like Anor Londo, you could have really made it like just like any other generic like, you know, country of the gods, you know, land, you know, like Mount Olympus type thing. But then you throw something like Seath there, and it's like, oh yeah, they just got like a dragon as a duke. Just casually, right? Like, like just real curveballs that just kind of make the worlds feel so much more alien in fantasy. I think the Hornsent do the same thing, right? Like, there's no culture that's comprises of a horned race quite like the Hornsent, you know? Like, you essentially have a bunch of Darth Mauls. Yeah, near where you fight the Ghost Flame Dragon. Oh, there's a Ghost Flame Dragon? Ooh. I assume you have to mean the one here, because I can't think of any other one with stimulating boluses. Allusion to Miquella? Well, it's made from Hmm. I wonder what this thing is used for, because I get the feeling this is used because it's used to craft stuff that would be relevant here. We got our hornless slaves. Our guys praying to their priests. I do find it interesting how common statues of like hornless Hornsent are, you know? Like, we got like a lot of their iconography doesn't feature any horns, but then you have the random one that will, right? Which is interesting considering their discrimination and all that, you know? Somber Smithing Stone 3, I guess because the statues here. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I don't remember there being a portrait. Oh! Lol. Wait. Oh, right. Oh. So these are supposed to be Messmer's guys. Bunch of interesting that's the shadow form guys doing this, you know? Yeah, it's the puzzle painting. I have no idea what that means, Xavier. Yeah, rip. At least I'm proving it's still a Loki stream. I am not an imposter. So these guys are supposed to be Messmer's dudes. Or at least some of them should be. But I imagine all of them. Interesting that they're bringing him down here, though. Also, I'm not entirely sure where all the poison is coming from. That's a little off to me. More Vesper fire grease. On a Hornsent corpse this time. So yeah, they're trying to get across the idea that Messmer's crew is not around. Though we do get Queeline who invades here, right? So from the painter, you know, you go where the painting is painted from and get an item. Oh. Yeah, I don't remember there being a portrait around there. Black fireflies, yeah. Let's see. I guess where there was a way up. I guess I imagined it. Yeah, I feel like there was a way up once upon a time. Oh, that's cute. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm completely lost then because I do not remember where things are. By the way, I love how you have the still unrotted fruit. I guess stuff just doesn't rot in the realm of Shadow. Silverhorn tender. Just hidden behind some just hidden behind some stuff without anything else, right? And these are for the aristocrats. I guess the interesting thing is that you have aristocratic money hidden behind some pots in like a commoner area, right? Like you wouldn't expect aristocrats to be doing the cooking or anything. Yeah, those are just words, Xavier. Those mean nothing to me. Got some offerings here too. Nope. Yeah, nothing special there. Bit of a spiral cane. Ah, that's why. It's not that you go up. This is the way to go down. Okay. That's what I'm remembering. There we go. Yeah, and this leads us into... Yeah. Hello, ma'am. More of that, those sands. Sands in a box. We don't really see the sand used. Oh, whoopsie. In significant ways here. I can't believe that broke. Like that, I get it. Also, I love how it just like fades away. I've never noticed that before, but it looks so silly. Up above the Church of Benediction, not ringing any bells, Xavier. I'd recommend giving up, Xavier. I just don't remember. I have zero memory of any of the paintings except for the one in except for the one that's in the cave over here, and I vaguely recall one that showed an image you had to get from somewhere over at Jagged Peak, but I can't remember where that one you found either is. Like, just they don't exist to my mind. All right. I'm just gonna trust that. More black fireflies on Hornsent corpses. Then beast bones. Yeah, I have to think about like what would you use thin beast bones and not resin for in Hornsent civilization. It could also be related to the destruction. Like what would they want to do after everything's destroyed that they're, you know, picking these up, you know? Also, burn the place down. Trees are still okay. Buildings, no, but the trees, they made it. Again, Mesmer, the environmental storytelling for From Software when it comes to burning stuff is, it's always been inconsistent. I guess that's why they changed it up in Archdragon Peak. They were like, listen, this burning thing, it's not going to work out for this area. A dew gem. I guess there is technically water here. Don't mind me just casually ruining everything. Interesting. These aren't actually horns. These are tree branches from there in the shape of horns. I guess it makes sense why they made it here in this area. Then they would take the branches that probably fall from this place. The shriek of sorrow. Yeah, I know what the Church of Benediction is, Xavier. I'm just saying I have no memory of this portrait. It may as well not exist to me. I just don't remember. Also, I'm probably a little late to realizing this, but like, I guess this was just a wall for the yard because all these other houses. Yeah, I guess it's just a wall. Weird choice of wall, I guess, but whatever. Just don't think about it. Don't question why Yharnam's front doors have fences blocking them. Just basic arrows, huh? Yeah, there's nothing, I guess, to convey the civilians? Basic civilian attempts to fight back? I'm just saying it depicts Mesmer soldiers going up the stairs to the front door. Ah, I see. Okay, that's what you want to get across. I'm gonna have to look at the the graphics for that then. Yeah, actually, I guess I could just go to the portrait itself after here. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, looking around here, nothing too crazy. So working on Tumeru, I think I posted the draft on the Discord that I'm working on. I think I have an idea of how it's all coming together with the sections and stuff. I've written out like a bit of it, and I'm like, okay, like I see the vision, right? Like maybe I need to add an extra paragraph here, split up a paragraph there, you know, all that jazz. But I'm seeing it come together, and I'm happy about that. We got this piss-ass water. I like the idea of like the little floating tributes, you know? And just string. String and not resin at the bottom? Again, I don't know what you would craft with those things, so I'd have to look. So far it's been string, not resin, and what was the third item we picked up? Oh, we also picked up these mushrooms, but the thin beast bones, yeah, that was it. Gotta look at what those craft. But yeah, if Mesmer's soldiers really did go through the front door, it's curious that they apparently completely ignored like the very first, you know, pretty good telling, you know, you could have just like knocked the head off that idol. Why'd you gotta wait? Key with a spiral engraving. I mean, yeah, but you know, it's not the most spirally of spirals we've seen in this game, so. Opens the door to the storeroom to the second floor of Beneray. We can't go there. Huh. Throwing daggers, again, very simple stuff. So kind of like the arrows. There's nothing special about the... Oh, it doesn't show them here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. Drawstring grease? Yeah, but what grease would it be? I guess would be the question. All right, this creates the shortcut. They use the sand a bit more here. So it seems like they're using the sand mostly for candles? Yeah, interesting choice. But taken together, it gives me the sense that, yeah, that's sand and it's slightly yellow color. Maybe it is supposed to be some byproduct of their use of the Elden Ring, or the gold, I should say. And so they use that golden sand as a kind of... I don't know. It's not really like... I guess it could maybe influence the candlelight somehow. Though you'd think the wax or the string would be more important there. Bone bow. I don't recall this item at all. Ah, okay. The spirit calling. And there's no corpse attached. Oh yeah, there is. There is. Okay. I forget. Is this... Oh, it doesn't show. I forget if this area connects directly to the tower, or if it was another portion. Anyway, so back to my Bloodborne thing. So I'm actually really happy with it. Like I wasn't sure about some sections, but they're coming together better than I thought. Really getting a sense of people being sick and coming here. More unrotted food, very convenient. More storage. Ooh. More thin beast bones on this guy. Is that supposed to be anything deeper? I don't recall if these guys give you thin beast bones or not. It would kind of make sense with their like dangly ass arms, but... Yeah, of course. Oh, Miquella has to... Yeah, okay. Because I mentioned in my Twitter thread, not using the new name, that Miquella probably's already met up with Messmer and stuff before going on his little pilgrimage thing. But yeah. Because this was probably one of the first ones, like, right? Because there's one here, and one in here. So if this was the very first one he put, and it's right outside the gate to Belorat, and then you have one right in front of Belorat, these are probably the two he did, right? And this is like the first of his flesh. This one just basically says like a piece or whatever, right? Then you got his arm in here. I wonder if the idea is like Miquella was trying to treat some of the Hornsent who had the disease, right? Because these guys aren't dead. And we know that the spirit guy who's like praying here, that Miquella has 100% met with living Hornsent before. By the way, the fact that Messmer burned down the city and left a bunch of living Hornsent around, again, this crusade is all manners of what the fuck. Dried bouquet. I remember... Yeah, offered to a small grave. The sorrow that flows from the untimely demise of a loved one is a tenderness shared by all, regardless of birthplace. Could apply that to America in various senses. All right. Yeah, more of them. A lot of bodies here. I assume these are supposed to be burned bodies based on the color. Like they tried jumping into the water to escape the burning. Maybe that explains. Nah, because it's coming out of here too. That doesn't explain why it's piss water. A lot of houses collapse in here too. More red flesh mushrooms. Staunching boluses for bleed. Glass shards. Do these guys do bleed? Fly mold. Oh, that's simply connected to them. This is interesting to me how these guys look so much more human on the face than Hornzin do, and obviously they don't have horns. Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know how this is supposed to work. Like, you have houses and stuff here. But then you clearly have a waterfall and things over here, so clearly the water is supposed to flow through here. So I guess it was kind of like a stream between the homes here? God, that'd be a small street, though, like... really be shit to live here. Yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be flooded. Nah, no, it can't be. It can't be. Yeah, this is just a weird... this is a weird-ass setup. Uh-huh. Hello, my friend. Dude with a pot. Black fireflies again. Flight Pinion. Interesting choice for that one. I don't think these guys would drop it. Uh-huh. This way to get to the other side here. I just don't know how. All right, went all the way through there. More of these black fireflies. They really want to get across. Yeah, Mesmer. We get it. It's Mesmer. It's always Mesmer. See, this one got screwed. They made sure to face this guy. And yet they didn't burn down the tree. That will never not be funny to me. All right, now we're here, and we see a sense of like a scriptorium, kind of like in a Near Aleem here. So obviously this is supposed to be kind of building up, trying to build up to some sort of holy site. Yeah, and then that takes you to the church area. Another one of these. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, just showcasing them. Yeah, they just put like a sack over their head under that. Man, it must be so hard to see, but I guess when you're being possessed by a god, it doesn't matter. You just go with the flow. With a horned lion. Ah, damn. I was hoping I could cheat and like go up there without opening the door and stuff. Oh well, I guess we'll stop here for the moment. Yeah, so unfortunately this area is not very logical. Unfortunate. Not much logic going on in this place in terms of like some of the areas and things. I definitely feel like the Crusade is perhaps not the best expressed compared to some of the base game conflicts. Feels like a lot more thought went into those. Yeah, there's a building in here, and somehow we can get inside. Ah, of course. I was like, do I have to drop down on the far side? But I don't see anything useful. It's like, oh, of course, like that. Duh. Well, depths key. So this is for that door that I didn't open. A crude, corroded key opens the iron grating at the bottom of the well of Bellarat, the tower settlement. Corroded, I assume, because of all the water. Oh, some white flesh. Bless me. Nope. Should have seen that coming. All right. Let's go check out the stuff at Benediction. So, one of the things that I'm enjoying about looking through with Tumaru and stuff is kind of like, you know, going through each enemies and really kind of like giving a sense of how like the society and some of the details would work. And like I said, it's coming together a lot easier. Like there's a lot more stuff with like, say, the religion aspect that I'm able to talk about than I went into going. Like that would be a little more superficial. So like this was cool. Yeah, you're right. Interesting to me how the painter, because this is a painter who, he's very modern in the events of the post shattering and everything with what we see him paint, and yet the implication is that he's also here in a very, very private event depicting very, very private moments. Granted, I suppose you can make an argument that his magic lets him possibly see the past of the places he's painting. Maybe. But yeah, that's very clearly Mesmer's banners. And some torches. So they're marching on the main. They went through the front door, supposedly. They didn't bash it down or anything either. It's not been beaten. Which again, you think it would be. You wouldn't think the horn scent would just let them waltz right in. You'd think they'd be wondering what the hell Mesmer and crew are doing. building a castle, overlooking them, you know? Especially after being thrown into another dimension. I guess you could say the dimension stuff would come later. Like maybe around the time that they took Ballarat, maybe they started doing that. Still, it's funny. Ah! Oh. It's okay, I didn't want that stuff anymore. There we go. So really now the biggest, I think the biggest impediment now with working on Tumaru is probably going to be putting together some of the stuff on the Queen. That's going to be the most meaty, like single topic. There's a lot going in there. I need to also now work in the Watchdogs and stuff like that. There's the Shadows of Yharnam I should probably also talk about. So that's other things to consider. Hmm. Oh! Okay. Maybe I have a problem. I'm falling a little too often today. I think I might need I need an intervention. And this would theoretically be the 4th event, right? We saw this idea where he's only doing quote unquote a part, right? And then he's like, oh yeah, over in the distance. There's all that, right? Unfortunately, it's not as clean as being like, you know, he can see, you know, if this wasn't here, you could see it, right? Or if they moved the thing to up here, right? Not a clear line of sight. But you get the idea is there. It's like, oh, try to get rid of my doubts and my loves from the farthest possible you can get from here, right? I have a shot of the seal that Miquella puts Trina in. Kind of sad about that one. I did not have the foresight to get a shot of that. Oh, yeah. Of course. So this is stuff we see with Ancient Dynasty, I think. I don't know if Hornsent have any used this relief at all. This I don't recognize. God, I remember seeing this before. I don't remember where though now. Might be in Leyndell. Could be somewhere else though. Whew. And this, I'm pretty sure is Nox. Yeah, because these are like the deep well. This is like the deep well thing, right? Yeah, and this is the Nox lever. Now, granted, they also use this lever, if I recall. This is the one they also use for like catacombs and stuff. And this is like, you know, death area. Mm-hmm. Don't recognize the grave style either. Item in here. Oh. Fissure there. Yeah, so this is where his doubts are. This is where his love is. This is where Bale would be. Yeah, Ford of Reprimand right here. Sorry, man, I was cut up about 10 minutes. Oh, no problem, Xavier. It's like... It's not like, you know, you have to be here every second. You can go off and live your life, you know. I do like. I don't like that the grace point is lol, just kind of like phasing through, but Ay. Let's see. Yeah, gold and black like Malekith with white hair and stuff like that. It's very obvious they're trying to ape him. I guess that makes sense because this would be right off the back of Malekith proving his loyalty by killing the Glowmite Queen, right? So, and he's obviously a symbol of death now as well for the death to the demigods and everything. How the hell are you supposed to remove these things when you're trying to climb up here? Like, God, those things are heavy. All right. There we go. So many punished. And so many more to be brought in to be punished. Schnick. I still don't know if I would mention these outright in Mesmer or if I would wait till a Rykard analysis to talk about them. Horse is the zoomies, holy hell. Oh, right. Then we got the Morph stuff here. Very interesting that Miquella seems to, after dropping off Trina, go, okay, here, right? Through Ensis over to the highway, then goes over to Morth, and then finally stops here. I guess just get a nice good look at the Shadow Tree one last time before he rips out his eyeballs, right? I'm trying to send a message appreciating the motif of the rugs on the buildings, but YouTube's stupid auto mode is screwing me. Auto mode? What's YouTube doing now? Like, they keep on doing all these updates and crap. I can't keep up, man. I'm trying to say they act like burial shrouds for their culture and civilization. You mean in the Hornset and stuff like that? Yeah, I can see it. You see those all around Bellarat too, the fancy ones, like you said. They're not as common here, though. And obviously, they're a lot less, you know, fancy. It's just weird because it's this idea where exterminate all the Hornset and then they like kill a bunch of them, burn down their places, but then apparently survivors are left around. Or I guess maybe you could make the argument the Shadow people are the ones that are taking the shrouds and putting them on stuff, I guess? But we know there's living Hornset in Bellarat from what we can get with Miquella's story, so I don't know. Oh, the auto mod. Oh, not mode. Okay, so it's automatically deleting stuff. Yeah, it's another thing is like, I don't know what YouTube thinks is a horrible phrase or whatever that needs to be deleted. It's always funny to me when they do that. You gotta have your rebelling misbegotten. Viva la revolution! I wonder if the idea is supposed to be they're coming from this camp. Because there's nothing really to tell you. Yeah, they have to be coming from that camp. They have to be like the runaways. They're like, ah, they're being attacked by the dragon. We're getting out of here. Wait. I don't know why this one works. Yeah, I don't know why those got destroyed. Like, what the hell? That's not... Like, I'm on a horse. That's what they're for. Look at Mesmer's embers. I like the dogs, too. I think this might be... Visually, I think this might be my favorite dog in a From Software title. I just find the design so cool. Like actual hellhound. I didn't realize we just have knights like chilling. Bunch of soldiers chilling with them. Uh-huh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Then you got the perfumer section, nothing crazy here. I'm curious, does his furnace pot description say it burns down to the soul or the spirit? I don't remember. I'd assume it's Tamashi. But I'd have to double check. Visage. Visage. Maybe I already looted the other stuff? I could have swore there was more. Oh, the note. Ah, here it is. Visage. I like how it's also now empty. Like they have just... It exploded, and I guess it just turned everything inside it to smithereens. Perfumer, stop polluting! We know you love to experiment. Maybe that's what happened over here. Maybe perfumers were just casually polluting the horn scent area. I don't know. Yeah, nothing crazy here. This corpse. No, okay, they make sure to use. And I'm trying to be careful to make sure we don't have any evidence of like From Software kind of getting lazy with the corpses. Because, like, most of them, like, okay, I can believe that, like, Mesmer stuff being on some of the survivors of his purges bodies or something like that, right? Like, in most cases, I can, like, justify it. But I kind of want to make sure there's never a case where it's like, no, this should definitely be not a horn scent corpse, right? I guess I could. Might want to go the backwards, so. All right, we leave that closed. Oh, this said night, right? Yeah. Uh-huh. All that, pretty normal. Got that down there. Yeah, these guys are definitely not horn scent. The DLC is pretty consistent that outside of Mesmer areas are only horn scent, and inside Mesmer areas is just commoner and wizard nobles. Yeah, I always want to make sure. Because again, you can make a justification for a horn scent having stuff that they normally wouldn't have because, you know, they just found it in the area and picked it up, right? The question would just be, is there ever a time when there are in fact horn scent, like, I don't know, in some context that they would obviously have to be, like anomalous there, like there's no reason for them to actually be there. And I think generally speaking it's usually justifiable. These guys also have swords if you smack them. Oh, cool. Fireproof pickled liver. Yeah, I can imagine working for Mesmer. You'd want to work on that one, huh? Again, I love how this is like stored. So many tablets. And it's on the floor that would actually take you to Rao, so it's even more fitting, you know? Man, it must be great to be a mercenary. Apparently Mesmer won't kill you. Ow. Well, that didn't put me in combat. If I like so much as tap the asshole, I'll be locked out of my map. Smithing Stone 5 from no body, just the tablets here. That seems to be an indicator to tell you, oh, it's connected to Rao, because Rao is connected to the Elden Ring in gold too. Yeah, that's probably what they're going for there. Beast horns, that makes sense because they're collecting the specimens. Black Firefly, again, it's Mesmer, and they're collecting specimens. Jeez, what did the guy do to you, bub? Tablets made of goldish rock, or rock that's been infused with gold, kind of like on Altus. Blessed Bone Shard, again, not that weird. This is a study area. Like, it's very clear this is supposed to be a records and documentation storehouse slash research lab, right? Like, this is where they're storing all their papers, right? Storing all their reading materials, storing all the tablets and quote-unquote specimens that they collect. Lump of flesh. Beast horn. I forgot how many Fire Knights there are. Like, holy hell. I've been also thinking now, I'm not sure if this is the true for the water, but I've been wondering now if the tree spirits we see pop up are a response to Miquella breaking the Great Rune there. The Shadow Tree avatar, I think, would have to go back to when Marika broke the Elden Ring based on the lore for the thorns and stuff we get. But I would have to assume the tree spirits, because they tend to be a what's the word? Like an immune system reaction, right? Like they're supposed to be like kind of, you know, automatic, not really organized or thought through like the avatars are. So I'd have to assume that the tree spirits would have to be something very recent on why they're appearing the way they are, right? Like, I think the only example we could have to counter that is maybe in Capital Outskirts. There's the tree spirit that appears in the mid as we're like traveling through the outskirts, and obviously completely different reaction compared to when we get the Erdtree avatar inside Leyndell, who seems to come directly from Radagon. Like Radagon's influencing that there. Wait, wasn't it obvious the tablets came from Morale? Finger worship of the rain. Oh no, I'm not saying that isn't already obvious that the tablets came from Morale. What I'm saying is I think it's the I think the point is that they're putting the gold smithing stone, what was it, like here or something, or like down here. Like, I think the whole point of the gold smithing stone being collected like literally from a tablet without any corpse or anything there is meant to kind of give you a sense. It's supposed to be a hint, right? Because you haven't gone to Rao yet at this point, right? Like, maybe actually, you know, maybe you have, because I think there's no locked door, right? But like, you could go to Rao this way. But I think the point is that whether you have or not, this is kind of foreshadowing that the tablet's connection is in fact related, because of the whole gold thing, right? Again, it's not even something direct or anything like that. I just think it's supposed to be one more piece of evidence to kind of help you connect the dots. You know, kind of like the black fireflies. It's like, oh wow, Messmer's, you know, wow, I can't believe that the people in Messmer's castle are probably connected to Messmer. It's like, you know, it's one more thing to kind of be like, yeah, they study, you know, stuff like this true because they're part of like Messmer's crew and all that. I think I have to go outside to go any higher, right? No, I can go to the loft directly, so I've been up there before without opening doors, so. I don't want to have to scale all that crap again. I'd assume they show from the minor Shadow Tree being drowned. Ah, that's true as well. Yeah, that makes sense too. Because they come from the ground, right? They don't come from above. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the tree spirits seem to be more of a reflexive reaction, kind of like you know your blood cells and stuff. Whereas the avatar is like, okay, you take the time to formulate the pill, and then you take the pill, right? It seems to be the idea between them. The Ember of Messmer. More horse bones and crap. Though I assume in this case they're trying to make, you know, the idea would be like deer. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, maybe I misremember, but I think as soon as you go into Rao, you see a bunch of deer around here. I don't remember if they were throughout the area or not. I think there's definitely at least a few in the starting section. Another spirit calculus. Yeah, reinforcing the route connection. Oh, wait 1 second. Yeah, I forgot to do this. There you go. There we go. What about up here? Sliver of meat. Pretty sure this fireplace leads to nowhere. Yep. Yep. Yeah, no way in hell this fireplace. It's actually leading anywhere. That's a little silly. Also, having a fireplace in a place with so many scrolls and stuff, I don't know if that's wise. Like, I get you have to have your torches and crap, but the other stuff, I'm not so sure. This place is so big, though. It's so hard for me to keep track of where the hell I am in relation to other stuff. It's definitely one of those places I need like a big map to really give me a sense, like probably like a big 3D map so I can kind of help myself follow where everything's at. Silver pickled fowlfoot. This is the one for discovery. Yeah, which makes sense because they're trying to, well, research and discover crap. Can we get shots of the dancing lion sometime? Yeah, I'm very hesitant to do stuff with like some of the bell ride and things because, like, you know, I don't have another file of like a clean you know, attempt to go into the realm of shadow yet. So like I'm a bit hesitant. There we go. A horntail? It's awful. Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I think this will work. Yeah. I think that's not gonna work. I need to lower it. I tried. Wait. I went down here? I guess I lowered the water upstairs. Oh yeah, I fought you for sure. Okay. Yeah, we got shots of you. You we have plenty of shots of. All right. Got America here. There we go. Oh. All right, so getting a sense looking around, nothing else like kind of sticks out to me with that is too new. Like there's some minor items and stuff that might be useful if you want to go like a deep dive, but like nothing crazy. And I still stand by what I say. I think Mezmer's Crusade makes no goddamn sense when you try to, like, if you don't just like work with it in the broad strokes and just kind of like just nod your head and accept some of the basic facts the game tells you. It's just one of those things where like it doesn't really jive as like a cohesive narrative. Definitely not the best merger of text and environment storytelling for sure. Right? Yeah. Everything else we basically covered and stuff. So like in terms of just the Godfrey thing. Alright, let's look at this. Oh no, I'm bringing it up again. Oh no, somebody stop him. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Actually, I don't remember where the hell this thing even is. Lol. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Here we go. There we go. So this we've covered. This we basically covered. Like, I'll be honest, I would like to in the future maybe go into more into the demigod aspect of stuff with this and Godfrey or whatever. But for now, with my current understanding, it's fine. Same with this. Same with this. Same with this. Same with this. This we have not covered yet. This would go in hand with that. This would, I covered this with Crucible's End basically already, so that's basically already covered. Same with this. The Crusade would be separate. The Omen thing would also be separate. Omen would be easier to cover than Mezmer because Mezmer's just got so much goddamn shit happening in it. Granted, as I've said, a lot of it is kind of nonsensical, so I could maybe get away with just talking about stuff in the broad strokes, right? And then maybe giving the individual vignettes of what we see. Oh, that's the problem. Actually, that's the problem, though. It's all the individual vignettes. It's like, oh, look. There's the Mezmer soldiers and knights as they're tired of doing so. Oh, look, there's them fighting off like a dead dragon. Oh, look, there's the it's not demi-humans, the misbegotten who have rebelled and have gone off on their own while their guys are fighting the dragon and stuff like that, right? Like, then there's the stuff like the Ford of Reprimand and everything, right? Like looking at it here. Like, most of the stuff would be like, okay, like, Mezmer's force have probably been through here because we see, like, the golem guys and, like, some of the destroyed, like, do I have it for the river here? Like, there's, like, the golem guys and then, like, some of the destroyed monk statues. You know, our little, you know, our not mummified Buddhist monk boys. Yeah, like here. I remember there being one around here. Where are you? You're somewhere here. Am I crazy? Is this the wrong cave? Or did I just go the wrong direction? Ah, yeah, I did. It's here. Okay. You know, like stuff like this, you're like, oh, okay. Like stuff like that you could probably cover. It's like something like that I could probably cover very easily. And then the rest of this is generally broad. Like we'd be like, oh, look. Oh, but you know what the problem is? If I cover all the Mezmer stuff, I would also want to cover the Hornsent side of the story. Oh. And I'd have to talk about the churches being built. And like the stuff with the Prospect Town and the Formless Mother, probably. Yeah, I'd have to talk about all the formless mother stuff, and oh my god, this cluster frick at Rao base. Yeah. Yeah, oh, and let's not forget the rebellion, and then all the catacombs. Yeah, there's... Yeah, Mesmer's gonna be a pain in the ass whenever I get around to it, because there's so much shit. It's like a full demigods. It might be even, like... It could be worse than Radahn and Godric. Because I technically have 2 factions I'd have to cover. I guess we could get the spiral nose shots from the one in Rao. Yeah, in terms of like... In terms of that one... I think I have to like explore more in order to unlock the area, but I could theoretically find the lift up there, I'm pretty sure. Kukri. There's actual corpse on this one. That's the shocking part. Wrong direction. Ow. This doesn't feel... Yeah, no, this isn't right. Yeah, this is the problem. I have no idea. Ah. I do not remember how to get up there from here. You know, now I'm starting to think the minor Erd trees are snapshots of the tree when they were released, because the oldest ones are Crucible adjacent and the youngest ones glow gold. So I think the Crucible Erd tree just looked like a giant minor Erd tree. What do you mean by the oldest ones are Crucible adjacent, the youngest ones glow gold? So like, are you just talking about like the way how they go from like the golden phantom trees to what we see here? Because there's such an emphasis on the reddish aspect, I don't know if this is totally accurate. So like, are you saying you think that the Erd tree, when it's glowing gold like a phantom tree like this, it's to show how it's not at fully mature power, right? Versus these minor trees. Yeah. I don't know, because there's so much emphasis placed on that reddish aspect. I can't look at this and think, oh yeah, reddish gold, you know? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this for the Erd tree, at least at one point in its history. Because obviously there was a time when it was smaller. Again, how realistic it was that it was smaller at this point. Like, when did the Erd tree stop growing to the size we see it at now? I guess you could argue that the Erd tree's never stopped growing. It's still growing now. But, like, we see from portraits and stuff that at least when Marika was around, it was definitely that big. At some point by the end of her reign, I guess we could say. It was probably big for quite a while, too. So maybe at some point it did look kind of like this. when it was maybe of similar size to this minor Erd tree. But again, how long did that last? At what point was that going? Like, so many questions. Like me, trying to figure out how the hell I get over there. I just don't remember. Alright, time to cheat. Oh my god, I have to go to... Oh! Oh. Right. I forgot about the platforming. Right. Okay. That's doable, though. All right. Never mind, platforming is going to be a big problem. All right. So far, so good. Take it slowly. We're at ×5 speed. Don't fuck this up, Loki. Ah! There we go. Worried about that jump there. Phew. Smithing. Oh, right, the smithing stone too. That's another thing I'd have to take into account. All right. Just kind of doing his thing. Well. Wait, is it only 2 guys? For some reason, I thought it was 3. I mean, this makes sense, because generally lion dances only use 2 guys. From what I know. I don't know why I thought it was 3, though. There we go. Is it that the eyes turn green when the spirit is in it? I remember seeing this in on the model when we went to get the shots of it in Belorat. Though again, that could just be because of the cutscene. I don't know if you could actually see those eyes when you enter the boss arena, so... I wonder if the theater bagheads are related to the greater Potentate's mask minus the caterpillars. I don't recall how they did that. I think it was just like a wrap and then the caterpillars were stuffed in the face between the cloth, right? Like... Use a red cloth is an interesting choice. It's interesting how the guy's already around and just kind of walking about the whole time. A little bit of flower or sun imagery. I guess it could go either way. The cutscene does show the eyes dull and then starts to glow. Okay, cool. Yeah, because sometimes with this camera mod, you see things that, you know, the devs were cheating so that you wouldn't see. Go. Nah, that's where you're never gonna get a good shot here. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you're never gonna get a good shot of this guy up front. There we go. You might need some glowstone to see the golden back horns and silver head horns. Are there horns on the back? Oh, do you mean like down here? I'll be honest, I don't see any silver. It all looks like it's like gold with a bit of like black at the tips. I don't know if it's because like the idea is like, oh, they've impaled people, that's supposed to be like blood, you know, or mucus or, you know, whatever. Oh, up here though. This is different though. No, yeah, I don't think we need any lighting change. Are these... They kind of look a little bit of a mix of gray and brown, like the actual Hornsent horns, so I'm not sure if they're silver per se, but... Those are the gold horns? Ah, okay. So now I get what you mean. Something like this. Horizontal middle shoulder plate remind me of elk antlers so much. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I could definitely see the wanting to connect it to the elks. Yeah, these look a bit more metallic to me than these. Not too much else, though, in terms of details. Like I said, this, like... I guess it's supposed to be a flower. No, you know, maybe it's supposed to be solar. Alright. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything particularly metallic about these. These look more organic to me. These, yeah, you can see a bit of a metallic sheen there. It's not like too strong, but you can see it. I think it also helps they have extra shine on this parts that are more darker in color. I wonder if it has any relevance to ancestor spirits. I would not be surprised if this somehow connects back to ancestor spirits, at least in a loose thematic way. Like, I don't know, for example, if I could connect what we're seeing at the specimen storehouse to the ancestor spirits per se, other than them trying to get a similar concept of spirituality and all that jazz. That's why I want the glowstone to showcase it. I guess you would need a glowstone if it has it. But like, I don't know. I feel like the lighting as is should be enough, right? I don't know. And then I guess there's the second set of jaws. There's nothing different about this model compared to the boss version we encounter in Bellarat, right? Like, it should be basically identical. We just have the different phase from what I remember. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, even with the glowstone. Here, though, I can see it. The nose painted spiral. Okay, so where's this? Is this the nose painted spiral? Like, what's the spiral I'm looking at? There's a nose. So one thing that might be different. I want to see the painted spiral on the nose. Yeah, I don't see it on this one. Maybe only the other boss version has this spiral? That or I'm really blind, because I do not see it. On the nose bridge, you're saying? Let me wait till it... All right, this is the perfect... Yeah, I'm struggling to see it, guys. I don't... Like, it's really subtle if it's there. I'm really struggling here. I'm trying not to gaslight myself and see something that isn't there, but like, I'm really struggling to actually see it. I got a shot of the close-up, though. It'll be a faint green and red. Like, I see little marks and stuff. I just don't see the spiral. Yeah, I'll take a few screenshots, but I know it shows up on the player head version. It might be the player head version that has it then. Cause I'm not seeing it here. I don't know if you guys are, but like, I don't. It really seems like it's not there. really a design here on the ends, just some like cloth stuff hanging. All right, let nobody say I did not take a good look at this boss. We most certainly did. All right. Unfortunately, I don't have the player head version. Yeah, I'm sure if I looked at an image of that one, it'd probably be more obvious to me. Because generally the player versions have higher graphical fidelity than the bosses. I don't know why. It's the same with the Crucible Knights. Like, one of the most iconic symbols on them is just like a faded, muddy texture. Like, who the hell thought that was a good idea? How the hell is it so dark all of a sudden? Oh, it's foggy, that's why. Fog and Row. No, yeah, but covering Mesmer, I just don't want to do it. It's like this one, I can see myself covering the Gloamite Queen stuff. I would just be bored to tears because I would be saying like 99% of stuff that Smotown or Vati or whoever has said. So this would be that. Omen Curse, I feel like would be the one I'd want to do the most out of the stuff on here. Covered this, covered that, covered that, covered that, covered that, covered that, covered that, covered that. Okay, yeah. So really not that much when it comes to just purely the Erdtree stuff. Be like 3 events. One, again, I'm combining these two because they'll be part of one topic. So 1, 2, 3. Pretty good. Pretty good, I'd say. And then in terms of the larger timeline, the cover Bale. Yeah, Farum Azula would be one. That would be one. Bale would be under Farum Azula stuff, probably. There'd be Farum Azula. There would be astrologers. Astrologers I'd like to do because there's just, you know, there's just a lot of cool little things and observations I made that I would like to have, like, you know, all compiled somewhere. Talking about stuff like, you know, the Liurnia Lakes and all the driftwood and all the stuff with the rivers and things, right? And the stuff with Celia and the highway and all that jazz. You know, how Celia had its own highway before the Erdtree came to town, you know? Like, cool stuff like that, you know? So yeah, there'd be that, there'd be Farum Azula. Fire Monks, I've said before, Fire Monks would be another one I would like to do as just like a side topic to cover them. I don't know if I would have anything meaningful to say. Like, I'd probably have some interesting stuff to say about their origin, because it would have to tie into whatever her name is, Argranthi or whatever. So that would be kind of interesting to talk about, but like, other than that, I think it'd be pretty standard. It would just be helping set up for Gloamite Queen. And then we've got Nox. Nox would be honestly, Nox would be good because I have Nox stuff I've written in the past that I've had to cut, and I have like just hanging there, like on the side as like this stuff for me to reincorporate into a new analysis. Plus, we have all the stuff from Night Rain with Noclateo, which kind of bolsters my talking points about it. So that could be interesting. Let's see, Loki, the best place to see the sewn designs on the sides of the cloth draping the rear sculpted keeper. They are like a car doors relative to the lion's overall model. The rear doors have the best depiction of the sewn designs that seem to also show up on the boss helmet item. Is that so? Well, we're already gone from that, unfortunately, but I guess when we're going back in the VOD, I can maybe look at it. That's one of the nice things of having, it's one of the nice things of having this stuff on stream in 4K, so that way I don't lose too much quality if I get a good solid pick of something. Yeah, I have not double checked yet, Night Scout. I mean, I can't do it. I'm kind of, you know, doing things live with you all. Ancient Civ and Dynasties and RAW, like with RAW and everything, I feel like that would be fun to kind of dissect, but I would definitely have to do more preliminary thought on it. Like, I have like all the data, right? Like, I have a general idea of all the data involved, but I haven't really actually sat down at all and really thought about piecing it together beyond like some of the DLC stuff we learned. Like, some of that I'm like, okay, I got an idea. Gold mixed with rot. You know, generally, you know, idea of like, okay, somehow we've got Newman, God, and family become Shem, you know, like that stuff I've kind of like got like a preliminary. But some of the other stuff on RAW or whatever, like I don't know exactly where all the spirit stuff in RAW really comes together in or any of that jazz. So that one doesn't make much sense to me yet. I would, yeah, I feel like Fire Monks, Nox, and Astrologers, I feel like are the ones I want to do the most. Giants would be kind of cool to do, but I feel like I run into the problem where I wouldn't be able to trace them back more. I know some people have really expansive theories on Giants, like, you know, that they're related to the Divine Towers and stuff. I'm not on that ship. I've not seen the compelling case for it personally. But it would be something where I'm like, I have no idea what I would substitute for that in terms of where do the Giants come from? Like, where do they fit? All I can really say is like, okay, the Fire Giants came from Caelid, but what was their history before, I don't know, coming to be in Caelid? I don't know. Like, Night Rain gives us another, like, you know, quote-unquote giant entity, but again, I don't know if that has any relation to the giants we're familiar with. Anyway, I checked the Bonfire VN's Dancing Lion video. The lions are the same model. Okay, then it's probably just on the helmet where it's more obvious than for the face, at least. Because, yeah, as is, it just looks like muddy texture to me. But, you know, it's the same thing I could say about, like, stuff like the Crucible Night Capes. But then you see the player model version, and it's so much more obvious. Again, I hate how they handle that type of stuff. I get it, like, there's only so much you can do, and they're bosses. You're not going to look at them that closely and things when they're constantly on the move and crap like that. But I don't know, it just feels kind of lazy. All the RAW runes at the Wailing Doom seems to apply a RAW civilization at some point. I said before, like, again, Ancient Civ is Ancient Civ. We've already knew an Ancient Civ was a widespread, right? I've talked about it before, too. Like, all of this was spread here, and then it would link up with the Ancient Dynasty down here, so... Ancient Civ and Dynasty were clearly contemporaries. One mostly covered underground, the other mostly covered above ground, and they interacted, at least at the Wailing Dunes. Now, again, what does that mean for their histories together? Like, is RAW responsible for the ancient dynasties getting wrapped up with the rot, right? Is that why we have the ancient kings involved with rot, you know, like down here? I don't know. I've also thought up an idea that maybe the ancient Civ and Dynasty were kind of like, I don't know, like kind of like a co-ruling empire. Like maybe the idea is that the ancient Civ was ruled by the God Queen and the ancient Dynasty was ruled by the Elden Lord, right? And this is supposed to be like a representation of that Elden Lord. So instead of like a conqueror like Godfrey, it was more of like a scholar type Elden Lord. So that I've had that thought before, but again, without like doing a deeper dive, and ideally I'd have a better grasp of the cosmology to understand like all the significance of all the different players. It's a bit harder to say. Okay, it could have been a Rao civilization. Well, again, it's very obvious that at least. So as is, the timeline looks something like this, right? You have the astrologers up here, and they do the founding rain of stars, which spreads glintstone around, right? Some of that glintstone deposit is here in Caelid. The ancient Civ establishes itself, right? Let's assume Rao is like its capital, right? Then it's got stuff like over here. It's got all the stuff here, which for some reason leads to Castle Morn, where there's the unique jellyfish. I still don't know why exactly the area where Morn was built was so significant. But we have all the highways and stuff that are clearly like leading over there. You got a bit of ruins here and stuff like that, right? You have the stuff here, all of it coalescing to this spot with the ancient dynasty or what have you, right? So obviously the ancient Civ had something here. Now the question would be, because you also have Far Missoula that's also still existing around here, right? At some point, the fire giants are living here before or after the ancient Civ and migrate their way up to here. Now, I would assume that the fire giants would have to come after, because there's such an emphasis on the golems that the ancient Civ use, connecting it to fire. So this really only makes sense to me. We also see the Hornsent have such a negative reaction to the fire giants and their fell god. I have to wonder if that has anything to do with the history of the ancient Civ with the giants. So I feel like whenever the astrologers did Founding Rain of Stars, it's before Ancient Civ, and I feel like the fire giants would also probably have to be before Ancient Civ. Because then it's just, okay, we just have to pass through Far Missoula here. Now granted, we also have Far Missoula in like this endless war with Baal and his compatriots happening throughout this history as well. So again, I have to wonder when exactly the Baal event happens. Is it before or after the Ancient Civ stuff too? Because again, I would assume that the Rao thing somehow connects to Far Missoula with Plaki's god leaving. Like somehow, somewhere, either the god has descendants and those descendants become the next queen of the Rao, or you have, you know, like, you know, the queen herself becomes the queen over in Rao, like something. Somehow we have to get the Newman queen in Far Missoula, who disappears from there, seemingly taking the Elden Ring with her. Somehow that has to lead to Rao getting established. Also, he knows apparently the spirit jellyfish is to do with cosmos and star stuff in the context of Maris. Yeah, that much would seem clear from just like the general, you know, sea vibe. See, you know. Again, I always say this, but keep in mind the term for galaxy, or as we call it, the Milky Way, which also has, of course, you know, like, you know, Milky Way, like a riverway. You know, that already has like, you know, connotations of like, you know, ocean with the sea, you know, the sea of starry skies or whatever. But also the term Milky Way in Japanese would literally be something like the Silver River, right? So the idea of a galaxy and all that stuff, there's always this water association, which makes sense. And of course, this also goes into the whole connection between the cosmos and silver and stuff like that. Oh, what's the telescope just now looking at? It's just, it's over at the lake, if I recall. Where is this thing? Ah, there it is. Right? Oh, no, it's further out. Okay. You just look at the lake and stuff for people. Oh yeah, you have astrologers up here, so you have telescopes there. Again, this is something I'd want to talk about with astrologers, because then you have like, oh, you have the transit between here, right? So again, you got the whole walkway and everything. So when you got that walkway there, you have a telescope there. Then of course you have it in Liurnia, so you have like a telescope there. This one I can't remember if it's on the highway or not. I want to say it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. You also have one over here, yeah. Same thing. And then none here. The scale telescope glitch? No, it's no. This is it. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I use the telescope, I could use the mod still. So I'm pretty sure it's all connected. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm not sure if Rao would be the link between the fire giants, because I do think the events would probably have to, with the fire giants, would have to precede it. I do think it would probably be Farum Azula starting its war with the dragons because of the Baal stuff. And then the fire giants are deciding to move up. They push the other dragons out of the way. I guess it could also be before the no, actually, you know what? It'd be a bit weird because you'd be having Farum Azula fighting the dragons, and then fire giants are like, don't mind us, we're just coming through, and they're like basically getting in the way of their fighting. So it could be that the giants migrate and they start pushing out the dragons off. Yeah, because they only push the dragons off the mountaintops. The idea is the mountaintop, they're still like around there on the mountaintops, and it takes Farum Azula's own people going out and hunting them down like a Castle Soul. So yeah, it might be just an example of Farum Azula mistreating the lesser dragons, which helps motivate Baal. Like, helps justify Baal, you know, going against them because of discrimination. Kiss the Baal? I will not kiss the Baal, man. I refuse to kiss the Baal. Yeah, I think I need to do like at least attempt to go through like a timeline of, okay, this event has to go past, you know, before this event, etc., etc. Because maybe if I start writing it down and I look at that, maybe I'll see the bigger picture. Maybe, who knows, maybe I'll find something, you know, in the gaps of understanding. There's also Divine Tower stuff at the Forge, and the Old Gods Arrowhead Meteor Core Greatsword is the same white meteorite as the Divine Tower. Yeah, that's another thing, is that this whole like war with like ancient gods and things, and it's like giant arrows and stuff. So like, are these gods like actual entities from the cosmos? You would think so, considering it seems to be related to meteorites. But if that's the case, then are like the giants descendants of these gods, maybe? Because again, we're supposed to have the idea that like the origin of like, you know, there's this understanding that forging with metals and stuff would begin with the giants. And we know Farum Azula also starts... Oh, no, yeah, no, you know what? Fire giants have to take over the mountaintops before the stuff with Baal. Because then Farum Azula doesn't have the modern weapons that we see them use in the Baal fight. With all the swords and shields and stuff. Right? Because those have to be forged. So, like, you have to have the fire giants around and sharing some of their secrets of forging with Farum Azula. You know, after they establish themselves on the mountaintops with their forge and stuff, right? That does have to happen first. I think Borealis being so frostbitten implies the Drakes didn't want to be on the mountaintops, but were forced there, so probably after Baal's failure? No, because now that I'm going through it, though, Nightscale, yeah, that doesn't make sense, then. Because you need to have the forging and stuff. You need the giants to already be there doing their thing and inventing smithing and crap. Because the frostbitten thing doesn't seem to bother them. They seem to be, you know, they're ice dragons. Like, it's part of their thing. Like, even Exike seems to deal with the rot fairly well, all things considered. But at the very least, they seem to be adaptable. Let me double check. Like, I don't see anything particularly wrong with him compared to, say, something like Exike's, right? It's got some ice there, right? A little bit frozen here, but it's like he's a dragon living on a snow top. It'd be stranger if we didn't see like any type of frozen stuff to him. He's able to fly. Poor Alice's head is. Yeah, there's some red there. I mean, that's not that weird, though, because we do see red dragons. That just tells me that they're able to circulate body heat, potentially. Assuming that the red is because of trying to deal with the cold. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything too wrong with this picture here. Yeah, of course. It is difficult to see the eyes, but I haven't compared it to other dragons to know how they do eyes. I mean, Guy still sees you just fine, so. Like, how's this compare to good old Agheel? There you are. Yeah, you can see eyes better with this one for sure. So they're supposed to be located like right here. Yeah, we have some visible eyes there. All right. Yeah, so the ice should be theoretically here. Yeah, there's definitely ice and stuff covering that one. Again, doesn't seem to affect his sight at all, though. He's still doing fine there. Yeah, I think this just comes with the course of being an, you know, an ice dragon living up here. I think there's anything particularly awful that our buddy here is experiencing. I am curious, though, when the ice shows up on the mountaintops, right? Like, when was this freezing lake not frozen, right? When was it actually just a regular flowing lake and stuff? When was there actual, like, warmth and stuff like we see in the cave here, right? I'm kind of curious what that was like. Only glintstone dragons and boreas have obscured eyes. Yeah, glintstone dragons do, you know, basically fine too with all the crystal that they've gone through. I think you see some red flesh on his wing bones too. Well, if it's anything like the other one, it just looks like to be a red pigmentation and stuff. Doesn't look like injuries or something. We got our worm friend down there. So yeah, maybe I should at some point do that. I mean, so far with Tumeru, like I said, the Queen section is probably going to be the toughest for me because I have to like take a lot of stuff across the timeline and put it together. Like I think I'm doing a good job of like kind of backing off, keeping things very broad, trying to keep the focus on the civilization as a whole, right? The religion stuff I've enjoyed a lot so far too, just like talking about the different you know, the clergies and stuff like that. Economy was kind of interesting too. It's just very short because there isn't too much to talk about. Same thing with talking about the infrastructure or whatever. Like there's no need to go into so much detail about like the different chambers and things like that. I'll just mention them as they're relevant if the specifics are. So I feel like with that, yeah, it's going to take me some time and I may be further slowed down by, you know, holiday season stuff coming up. So I can't promise that I'm not going to get like distracted this year. Stop eating worms next to this guy. What did he do? What did the poor guy do for you? Oh, God. And like the Civil War stuff is like, I think that's how I'm going to want to talk about it at the end. The real... I don't know. That one is a bit weird because I prefer to talk about like Queen Yarnum's arc, at least in the broad strokes. Like I'm not going to talk about who stole her child and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to kind of get too deep into the whole School of Mensis thing. Maybe I have to give him a token mention. I might have to do that. Yeah, School of Mensis is weird because I have to talk about them before I can actually discuss them in any detail. I just gotta be like, yeah, they're a thing. They're doing stuff. They're responsible for crap. Yeah, forges in the Shadow Realm also exist. And the problem is I don't know when these are being made and by who, because I could see these forges being made by Hornsent and that they may, again, maybe they have a relationship with the fire giants before things go south. Do we see this design anywhere else? This one looks familiar. Like I feel like this would be in Lanedale somewhere. That's a Hornsent. I have to look up that by grace thing. 1 second. 1 second. I have to look up that by grace thing. All right. Look at my bookmarks. Where is it? What dialogue line is that? Bye. All right, let's see. I get the feeling that's not what it says, but we'll see. Yeah, okay. It isn't. Yeah, it's not. Mole. I thought so. Yeah, he's not actually saying by grace. Yeah, Hornsent's not actually saying by grace. It's, he's just saying, like, mole, like, it's an interjection. Like, it's the thing you say when you're, like, annoyed. Miyazaki also likes doing the whole... Like, he also likes doing that one. Like, mataku. But, like, no, this is... He doesn't necessarily say by grace, so this may be a mistake on the localization's part. Again, I don't want to say for sure, because we do know golden stuff is part of their civ. But I have to see that. You also find Smithscript backhand blades, which definitely connects to old Hornsent culture. Uh-huh. Yeah, the thing would be is this architecture, if we see it used in, like, Belarad or something. I don't think so. I want to say it's unique to here. But I honestly don't remember. We do see a lot of Hornsent corpses here, but again, that could just be because they're invading. The thing for me is the smithing stone. How did the smithing stone get here? Especially when it becomes... Like, I guess goldsmithing stone, you could say it's due to proximity to the Erd tree, because we have the same idea with some of the old statues that are half buried that also have goldsmithing stone, where you're like, oh, okay, the stone's being changed by the influence of the Erd tree in the area. Like, that makes sense. Got this living fire here. What do you think would be a more appropriate line? Anything generic that would be an expression of exasperation or annoyance, right? Like if I said, "Jeez, God," like, Jesus, you know, like various stuff like that would work depending on the context, though, right? Like, obviously, if you're in a fantasy setting, you probably don't want the character saying Jesus. You can maybe get away with G's because it's become kind of like generic, you know, you spell it with the G most of the time, right? So it just becomes like this like nonsense word, right? But you're like, ugh, right? I don't think I would do like a sound like that, like because like, you know, it's not really like that, you know? Like, yeah, it's kind of just the it's kind of like a noise you make, but it's not like a like it's not an actual sound, right? It's not that type of expression, right? It is like, you know, mo is, you know, an actual word for different things, so. Hello, big man. I wonder if the Hornsticks board the forges an emergency matter during the crusade. It's possible. I can definitely see that being a thing. I would not discount it out of hand. It could also be that this predates it, and this is just part of like a larger exploration of their ancient history, right? And for all we know, these forges could go back to Rao, if not the Hornset, right? Like maybe it was Rao who had a relationship with the fire giants. Like I think my question would definitely be like how late can we date Baal's rebellion, right? Like when is Baal supposed to be like, okay, I'm done with all of you, right? It would have to be, I think, after Rao collapsed, probably, because then you have the farm colonists coming in, and they're basically moving in to the ancient Civ's ruin area, right? Astrologers, I can imagine astrologers kind of existing amongst, as being like just this historical people who've like existed here and have gathered here even when ancient Civ was around, right? Like just like a village, right? That might be incorporated into Rao's empire. I could see that. I don't think you could get that with the farm colonists, though. That one I think is a little weird, especially when it's like a military inside your borders that's doing like hunting and stuff inside. It'd be good to look at the specific Smith script weapons found at each forge. Also worth knowing that Mesmer's spear was remade with Smith script, and one of the Night Sisters has claws that are Smith script. Ooh, I didn't even think about the Night Sisters. I always like kind of like, you know, show them to the back of my mind like most NPCs. Oh, I don't remember which one this lever is used for. I think the Academy? Maybe? It might be the Academy. Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know if the ladders are significant to tell us like, oh no, see, people did work here, or this area was, you know, humans built this or something, you know? Don't know if that's what we're supposed to take away, or we're just supposed to kind of hand wave it as like, oh yeah, you know, forge, metal, ladders. We have to get you, the player, here somehow. Oh, the Nox. Okay, no, not the two. Okay. Okay, so actual Nox Night Sisters. So they have Smith script too. Yeah, that definitely leaves a lot to think about. Because then we'd have to say the stuff with the giants might have to go back even before the Nox did anything then. Because then it has to be exceptionally old. Oh, no, okay, the lever is Nox. Okay. Yeah, okay. Never mind then. Never mind. I think it depends on. I don't know if Xavier is referring to the model itself or not, Night Scout, but I was taking Xavier as talking about the idea that the model showed Smith's script on it, which is why he was saying that. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. The fingerprint armor system are Nox. Yeah, I was thinking about the. Yeah, I was thinking about the ones that are working for Ymir and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot to think about in terms of timeline and stuff. Unfortunately, the stuff with Mesmer, like I said, the timeline and things like that, it's not very logical. Like, this is the most disorganized crusade and kind of slapdash, half-assed way to, like, genocide a people I've ever seen. Like, come on, you gotta get those numbers up. Come on, what about the German efficiency? Try to match it. Horrible at trying to kill everybody. This is not how you exterminate an entire race. But overall, I feel like the problem is just that there's so much to talk about. I would just be really annoyed with doing this. I would definitely much rather talk about stuff like the Nox for sure. I think the only thing I want to hesitate with the Nox is because, like, I'd have to allude to stuff about my Farm Missoula conclusions, and I feel like it would be kind of unfair to people to ask them to kind of just go along with some of that stuff. But, like, maybe it's necessary because, like I said, there's just so much Nox stuff I'd want to talk about timeline wise that'd be so difficult to talk about. Yeah, I can't speak to anything about the bolts and stuff like that since I don't use those weapons. No idea. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap things up here. So I've taken a look at. I think we've looked at a fair amount. It was nice, kind of like, you know, going around trying to figure out if there's anything Elden Ring I'd be enthused about getting back to. Nice break from the Bloodborne mines. Actual like mines down there deep in the depths. Oh, that's another thing. The working on the Bloodborne stuff. I'm surprised how easily Hintertombs is being incorporated. I really thought Hintertombs was going to be like a pain in the ass. But it's actually like working very well. Like, I'm actually very smoothly weaving stuff in. I thought it was gonna have to be its own separate section. I'm gonna have to find a way to segue it and avoid talking about other stuff, but while also covering that. But no, like it just kind of just inserts itself in there very nicely. I'm very happy with that. So yeah, I might be able to get this Tumaru thing down to like under 20 pages. As is. Because it really is something where, like, I'm able to put it all together and it doesn't feel like it's like, oh, this stuff is like, you know, it's like 3 lines and that's your paragraph or something. Anyway, but that's enough for me for today. I really do want to get back to doing, you know, all the other games I have on the back burner, like Trails and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll be able to get this done early. It's just I keep having stuff where I was like, oh, okay. I kind of got to like push this back or whatever. Got to worry about, you know, real life first and everything. So I would like to kind of do some, you know, earlier streams so we can spend a little bit more time like trying to get through FC, especially now that SC has been confirmed for September of next year. Oh boy, that's going to be a fun time. That's going to be a heart wrencher. But yeah, that's for me to worry about in the future. Yeah, you guys want to still talk about Mesmer Spear and stuff? Well, anyway, I'm going to be ending things here then because I'm not interested in this chat. Ugh. Thanks so much again, guys. Always good to have you here. Hopefully, hopefully Tumor won't, you know, take me too long, even if it does go into next year. Because I do want to get, like, enough Bloodborne done that I can justify, like, you know, it's like, okay, people, I give you guys a lot of Bloodborne. We can go back and maybe do 1 or 2 Elden Ring stuff as, like, as a break, you know? But, you know, that's for the future, Loki, to have to deal with. Until then, later.